Hello, this is Denise from Integrate Mama, and it is nighttime. The kids are in bed, so I thought I'd do a quick video about my new tarot book haul. So these are books that I've gotten recently. I think within the last month. I've kind of set myself up for probably several months of reading about tarot. I'm actually finishing a book right now, and then I'm going to get started on this pile. So most of these are pretty, I think, new, out relatively recently, have been published, but at least a couple of them I think are just new to me and maybe not, recently published. But this is my exciting new book stack here for tarot. So just to get started, this one is one that I think I'm going to be reading next. I am super excited about this one, Naked Tarot, a sassy stripped down advice by Janet Boyer. This one, I'm pretty sure I had pre-ordered this and got this fairly recently from Amazon. It looks amazing. I haven't had a chance to look through all of it or, really read any of it, but when you get to the cards, they have so much, like each card is covered. So for example, Nine of Wands, it says broken but not defeated, and then it has a stripped down overview. It has keywords, personifications, a quote, challenges, a Disney totem, which I thought was pretty funny, an animal symbol, flower essences, crystals, like all sorts of stuff. But then it has, when it comes to the naked advice, and this is my favorite part because it has career section, romance, spirituality sections, but then it also has a parenting section. When I saw this, I was looking through it and I was like, I'm so excited I got this book. I mean, that's what I need, is I need a book of, like parenting advice through the tarot or something like that. So, so I'm really excited about that. There's so much good information in this book. Like I said, I haven't been able to really read through it. I know it says in the beginning, like how she comes up with some of these correspondences, like the Disney totems and stuff like that. So I'm pretty interested in reading this one. It sounds really, really, really fabulous. So excited to dive into that one. One that I don't know if it's a newer book, but it's new to me. I just discovered this book. I didn't even know it existed. Is The Fool's Excellent Adventure. A Hero's Journey Through the Enneagram and Tarot by Susan Rhodes. So this one, I hope I'm saying that right, Enneagram. I think I've heard it pronounced that way, but that's a problem when you just read books, is that you don't always hear how the words are pronounced. But this one sounds amazing. I've been interested in the Enneagram. I don't really know anything about it. I have so many interests that I can't necessarily pursue all my interests. So, because I am a very busy person, as I mentioned, a mom with 3 kids. So this is kind of like my way of combining two of my interests, or like my main, one of my main interests in the tarot with the Enneagram, and being able to hopefully find time to read this book. It says here on the back that The Fool's Excellent Adventure brings together two profound wisdom systems, the Enneagram and the Tarot, to explore the hero's journey as a Jungian quest to discover the archetype that most influences our path in life, the shadow that obstructs the way, and the resolution that is the great work of the alchemists. Doesn't that sound really cool? Oh, The Excellent Adventure. Oh my. And it looks like it has some really, really good information in here. So like it has, like, for example, chapter 3 is the Hermetic Spirit of the Tarot. And then when I first opened this book and I came across, let's see, this quote, I think is in chapter 1, or the overview, and the quote is, You know what the issue is with this world? Everyone wants a magical solution to their problems, and no one believes in magic. And that's a quote from the Mad Hatter from the TV series Once Upon a Time. And I just loved that quote because, one, I love the Alice stories, Alice in Wonderland, and two, I just think that's so true. Like, everybody wants like a magical solution, but nobody believes in magic. Well, not very many people, still. So I just thought that was interesting. Because how are you going to get a magical solution if you don't believe that it exists, right? Gosh. It makes you think. Well, anyway, this book looks really good. It's got a lot of, it's got an index, it's got references, it's got a lot of good stuff in here, but the actual text, it's got several appendices as well. Appendix E is Tarot, Kabbalah, and the Enneagram, which I'm excited about. So if you count through all of that, is about 300 pages. So I think it's going to be pretty, chock full of goodness here. So I'm excited about that one. The next one, I think this is the newest one, is Tarot Correspondences, Ancient Secrets for Everyday Readers by T. Susan Chang. Includes over 100 essential tables, I thought I said tablets, tables and charts. And this one looks amazing. It's going to be so nice to have. I've just read through the introduction and kind of glanced through the tables. A couple of things that I noticed, I really like how she says here on page 3, tarot is an art and you don't have to prove you've mastered it by taking an exam and being able to regurgitate a complete set of 78 correspondences. You only have to be able to help someone. So I really loved that, And then I do also like how she says correspondences are a friend to the imagination and not its enemy. So I don't know, that's just really, for me, I've talked about this before in other videos, but when I started reading the tarot by trying to memorize all of the traditional meanings given to the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, which was my first deck. And that really didn't work for me. And then after I read a few books and I learned a bit more, I ended up kind of just saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do this really intuitively. I read a book called Psychic Tarot. I love that book. But I kind of took it to an extreme of not wanting to read books about tarot, just wanting to do it intuitively based on the energies, of the reading and my hits that I got, through the visual images on the cards. So I kind of had to go through a period of time like that until I kind of came out of that and figured out for myself that learning the correspondences and reading more about the tarot wasn't going to hinder my intuition that I got using the tarot. It was actually going to help my intuition just by giving me more base material to go on. So this, I think, is going to be a really good book. And it has so much stuff in here. This, even just this first one, Table 1, Conventional, Historical, and Hermetic Titles. Which I think is really, if you're interested in in different decks and the history of tarot and stuff like that, I think I don't even know what all I might use that for, but I think that it's really interesting just to look through. And then Table 2 is Astrological Correspondences, which I'm still kind of trying to grasp all the different, because astrology was never a thing that I was really interested in until fairly recently when I kind of became a little more interested in it. So I'm still trying to grasp the whole astrology and tarot thing, and I think this will be a really big help. So I'm really excited about that. Tree of Life Correspondences. I mean, there's just so much stuff in here. So much stuff. And then the part 2 is the Reader's Guide to Using the Correspondences. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I might actually read through that, whereas the first part, the tables and such, I might, just use those for when I need them to look stuff up. But the second part, I might actually kind of read through and get some ideas from her on how to use the correspondences. Anyway, it looks like an amazing, amazing book, and I'm super excited to read it. And moving on to Llewellyn's Complete Book of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot by Sasha Graham. So Sasha Graham wrote another book that I have about tarot called Tarot Diva that sounds kind of funny, but I really like it. And I've recommended it to people before. And I just, I was so impressed by that book. And I also, I really like her Haunted House Tarot that just came out recently. So I saw that she had this book that I believe also just came out fairly recently. And I decided to give it a shot because my first deck was a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and I gave it away as soon as I could because I just didn't connect with the images and everything. And I just recently got another Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and I'm kind of trying to connect with it again and seeing like if we have a thing now, if we're got through the rough patch. So I'm really excited about this, and the way that it's set up is really cool too. The chapters are arranged from the Sephira from the Tree of Life. So the first chapter is Keter or Crown, and then is the big picture show, and so then it goes on and on through the 10 chapters down to Malkuth, the kingdom, the 78 spreads. Wow, 78 spreads. Are there really 78 spreads? Holy cow, yes. There are. It looks like 78 spreads in this last chapter. Holy goodness gracious. So, there's well over 300 pages in here, not counting the glossary or the symbol dictionary. And just through chapter 10 is 453 pages. So lots of good information. Of course, although the spread section, won't take a lot of time to read, but golly gee. I'm interested to look through this some more, but I definitely have months of reading ahead of me. So this last one I don't think is new to come out at all, actually. I don't even know, or maybe it came out last year. But this is The Art of Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Poimanlaw. So sorry if I said that wrong. I am absolutely a huge fan of her artwork. Huge fan of her artwork. Huge fan of the Shadowscapes Tarot. The only issue that, and I mean, for me, it's not that big of an issue, but it was still there, was the size of the cards versus the intricacy of the artwork. And I've heard a lot of other people say it too, that they wish they could see the images better, because the artwork is just so, lovely and detailed, but the cards are so small. So I saw that this was available, and I think it only has, I've glanced through it, and I believe it only has like the majors, but still, I mean, look at that. So you get that size image, which is, enough to really, really contemplate the image. You get, I haven't compared it to the text, but this seems to me like basically the text from the guidebook. I'll have to check on that and see. It's been a long time since I read that guidebook. But then you also get this section. So that was a Hierophant card, and this is a Hierophant from the sketchbook. So you get like her sketches and like plans and stuff, and just like some notes on it, and it's just amazing. I just love it, love it, love it. Her artwork is, I mean, it is stunning. Just amazing, breathtaking. And she actually has some art, books on some different, I forget what the names of them are, but just like doing some different like artwork and watercolor and stuff like that, that are amazing looking too. So yeah, she is amazing, absolutely amazing. So that's the last book that I just recently got. That'll probably be the first one I read because I think I'll get through that one pretty quick, and I always like to, it makes me feel accomplished. I don't know about you, but since I've had kids and I don't have a lot of free time, I used to read so much, and now if I get a book read, it feels like a big accomplishment. Like, yes, I read a book, especially nonfiction. Fiction, I still fly through because I don't have to like contemplate and think about it and take notes. And oh man, I love the books that you work through, but when you get a book and they're like, oh, and just find a notebook and do these journal exercises, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take forever. So yeah, so any like little victories, like read through this. I don't think there's journal exercises, and I can just enjoy the artwork and stuff, and then move on to probably this one, because the parenting thing. I just came up with the parenting spread, so I'm excited. I'll show that off a different time, but I hope to work with that book and my spread together and see what I get out of it. So I am a little slap happy. It's late, so I am going to say goodbye. I hope you have an excellent week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.